Well, it's the penultimate step on the road to the Sim Racing Expo for our 10th anniversary, as we are now at the virtual recreation of the iconic Sachsenring, located half an hour outside of Zwickau in the Saxony region of eastern Germany. This particular track provides a big challenge. It's a circuit that's mainly conducive to motorcycle racing, but in recent times, just as early as last week, the DTM made its visit to this particular East German track. What's more, the battle for the title of Asetek Simsports Community Trophy champion is just one step away from the finale, which will take place live at the ADAC SimRacing Expo on the 18th of October 2024. Drivers will be battling for their share of prizes. Hello everyone, it's Alex Goldschmidt running solo tonight as Kieran McGinley is unfortunately unable to join me. He's otherwise engaged, but of course we still have one more race to go tonight for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy, and next week we have the penultimate stop on the ADAC Digital GT500. What's more, you'll be able to watch that live right here on the ADAC SimRacing Expo YouTube and Twitch channels. We've got more exciting announcements coming next week for you all to enjoy ahead of the 10th anniversary of the event. So, what's been happening with regards to the ADAC SimRacing Expo, I hear you cry? Well, there's a lot. There's still a lot to divulge to you all publicly, and believe you me, the announcements have been worth the wait. But more to the point, let's have a look at what things have been happening over the course of the ADAC SimRacing Expo Community Trophy. Well, just a few weeks ago, on the 1st of September, 2 weeks in fact, we headed to the Lautsitzring. So let's give you a quick reminder via the round 3 highlights of the Community Trophy. The Asetek Simsports Community Trophy saw a new pole sitter emerge for round 3 here at the Lautsitzring ahead of a double race format. It was Leonardo Passioni that set the early benchmark and would continue to dominate proceedings despite the best efforts of the likes of points leader Leon Harhoff, Mats Windhausen, the returning Oscar Soprich and Dan Maynardo amongst others. As the lights went out for race number 1 out of 2 here at the Lautsitzring, Leon Harhoff put early pressure on Leonardo Passioni in the early stages, right when the field was making its way through the fast bank turn at 1, with Passioni sweeping to the inside, Harhoff trying to go around the outside as the field made its way through turn 2 on the opening tour, with Passioni, Harhoff, Lutricucci rounding out the top 3. Alexandra Farrell would run as high as 9th during the race, but would tumble later down the order. Dramas would also once again hit Julius Wieser, who was running as high as 4th, before he dropped down and rounded out the top 10 before the halfway stage of the race. Maynardo and Windhausen having this great battle at a quarter race distance, battling for 6th with Maynardo taking the advantage. Harhoff in the meantime would try and focus on damage limitation, trying to keep a very steady gap between himself and race leader Leonardo Passioni. Battles were fast and furious all the way up and down the order, with even this battle between Windhausen and Lutricucci, the former coming out on top with this overtake with 12 minutes to go. However, Passioni would become a new race winner, with Harhoff knowing he had a new challenger in his midst. Race 2 got underway as the lights went out, with Alex Farrell and Oscar Soprich on the front row. On the way down to turn number 2 on the opening lap, we were 5 wide at one point as Soprich took the lead, and then all hell broke loose. Wieser was punted off the track, and even Leon Harhoff found himself in strife, dropping down to 10th. So Soprich, Farrell, Maynardo, Wieser, Dam would round out the top 5, closely followed by Leonardo Passioni. However, Passioni was not one to hang about, having got through on Maximilian Dam on this run down into turn 2 with just 2 minutes elapsed. However, he wasn't done yet. At 13.5 minutes to go, this 3 wide round the outside move on Maynardo and Wieser put Passioni onto 3rd place, whilst Farrell and Soprich would be battling tooth and nail for multiple minutes over the race victory. Alex Farrell would then find himself at the 7.5 minute mark, passed by Passioni, with Soprich falling just a minute later. 2 for 2 from Passioni. What happens next? Well, from that aspect, Leonardo Passioni became the man to defeat Leon Harhoff out on track. And Leon said, well, you know, it's probably a bit of a bogey track for me, but Leon Harhoff leads the way in the championship standings on 340 points, ahead of Mats Windhausen. Leonardo Passioni now moves up to third in the standings, ahead of Igor Wazowski. We've also got quite a few other drivers, but we do have to say get well soon to Don Maynardo, who unfortunately unable to race tonight, has contracted COVID-19. So Don, get well soon. Hopefully we'll see you for the season finale. Now, more about the season finale. Well, 18th of October, 2024. It's the last thing on the first day of 3 days of streaming live from the Dortmund Messe. And up for grabs are the following prizes. The winner of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy will get an Asetek Forte S pedal set worth about the best part of over €600. Second, we'll get a 250 Asetek shop voucher. And third, we'll get a €100 Asetek shop voucher. The car that we're using is the car that Asetek Simsports actually own and do fire up. So if you're coming, get your tickets. Get yourselves a ticket before you get to Dortmund in about 5 weeks' time. Yes, not long now. Because you'll actually see the Duquesne LMP3, the D08, fire its naturally aspirated V8 up in the hall at any point. Hence why I've given it the moniker, Andre Eriksson, I hope you like this, the Asetek Simsports alarm clock. And it's a powerful one. You might need your rear defenders as well, folks. But get your tickets by heading to our media partners at traction.gg, and you might get a little bit of a discount. Also, we have to say a big thank you to our other partners, including Gridfinder, traction.gg, our official media partner, Ready, Set, Sim, Logitech G, and SimStaff. A big thank you to them all for being a part and parcel of the partners for this 10th anniversary. But there you see the undulating nature of the Sachsenring. We are awaiting to get into timed qualifying. So the format will be the same as when we were at Lautsitzring last time out. It will be a 10-minute qualifying session, 20-minute first race. Grid will be decided by qualifying, and then we invert the top 10 for race number 2 for another 20 minutes. And then after that, well, the drivers will have a little bit of a respite. But there is a twist in the tale to be learned here, folks. Mainly because of the fact, well, we're going to leave it over to you, the community, to help decide the season finale. Track number 5, and it's going to be on Assetto Corsa. So watch out for our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, if you are on LinkedIn, you can follow our page there as well whilst you're at it. So just waiting on soon to be confirmation as when we'll be getting into timed qualifying. So as I said, 10-minute qualifying session decides the grid for race 1, top 10 inverted for race number 2. But we have had quite a lot. Sorry, I'm slurring over my words here tonight. What's wrong with me? It's probably because I haven't got Kieran with me, but he'll be back for the penultimate race of the ADAC Digital GT 500 at 8 PM CEST next week on the 22nd of September. But a wonderful track. It really is going to be a true test, but also there's going to be some really, really good places for overtaking. A very, very long start-finish straight, which will see these LMP3 cars, naturally aspirated, V8 power, Leviathans, literally slipstream each other. We thought the Lautsitzring would be the case, but practice results have just come in. Leon Harhoff, 1 minute 11.576 ahead of Leonardo Passioni, Mats Windhausen. Joe Viglione makes a return. Julius Visa, who's been in the mire for the last couple of rounds, unfortunately, rounds out the top 5 ahead of Oscar Soprich, Jules Samoy, Maximilian Dam, Carl Palatini, Alexandre Forel, and Lorenzo Tricchiusi. So those are our drivers that will be competing in the 2 races. So very shortly we'll be underway with timed qualifying and see how the drivers get on. Can they improve on their pace in free practice? Of course, with the first 4 tracks being known to the drivers and the 5th not being known to the drivers until sooner towards the Expo. All will be revealed, but like I said, it's going to be down to you, the community. So I'm sure that if you are in chat, please throw some suggestions and maybe who knows? Who knows? We might start the ball rolling early, but at least at the end of the day, we want to give you the control of how these drivers, whether they're going to like the season finale, whether they're not going to like the season finale. It's anyone's guess. But this track has been in operation since 2003, measures just under 2.3 miles or just under 3.7 kilometers. It has, as I said, been a part of Eastern German motorsport. There is also another track located not too far, which is one of the biggest and one of the newest facilities to join German karting. It is, of course, Motorsport Arena in Mülsen, which is only 20 minutes from this track. How do I know? Well, for those people wondering why I was in Leipzig last weekend, I was commentating on the season finale at Mülsen for the Rotax German Championship. So, yeah, I was half an hour away from Sachsenring in real life a week ago, and now I'm probably a little bit further away. Because every time that I'm on the broadcast, and I have to shout out to Ryan Gill, who's back behind the cameras once again, every time I've done a broadcast with Ryan, we actually had a nice little chat about this before the broadcast. He said, every time I've done a broadcast with you, you've been somewhere else apart from home. And I went, yeah, you're right, I think I have. But hopefully things will be getting underway very, very shortly with time qualifying. Let us know what you're looking forward to at this year's ADAC SimRacing Expo. Probably the best part of well over 100 content creators. We have got people coming in in their droves. Tickets are selling like hotcakes, and there are going to be some fantastic stage panels, which will really give you all an understanding of how sim racing is evolving, not just in the mental aspect, but also in the physical aspects, from such as peripherals, such as software. So there is so much that is part and parcel of the genre, and it really, really interests me every single time, because this year will be my third Sim Racing Expo in person. So I will be there with Kieran McGinley, along with our two main hosts, Luke Crane and Matze Brandt, and we're looking forward to seeing you all at the Dortmund Messe in a few weeks' time. I can't believe how close we are now. It's like literally time has been flying by. So, who are your bets on for tonight, folks? Let us know in chat. And I'm sure that very shortly let you know very shortly when we are getting on board with our timed qualifying session here at the wonderful recreation. So just getting the nod that we are just heading in to qualifying for this this fourth and penultimate round of the ADAC SimRacing Expo. Thank you so much to everyone joining us on both Twitch and on YouTube. And it's going to be, as I said, an interesting one. We've had two main race winners so far, Leon Harhoff and Leonardo Passione. Passione got the jump in time qualifying and also in the two races last time out. So we are just and great to see Don Maynardo still unable to race, but thanking us for the well wishes. We really appreciate it, and thank you for being a part of it. We just hope that you're going to be well recovered, ready, and able to put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, for the fifth and final round of the Community Trophy. So the session now moves on to timed qualifying. So, been a little bit of a slight wait, but at the end of the day, we have been eagerly anticipating this. So, drivers on the circuit for qualifying for round number 4, all on their outlap. So the drivers will have to get the tyres up to temperature for this particular circuit. So it has been in operation for 2 decades. You can just see the amount of downward slant as we see Leonardo Passioni come down the hill. So twists and turns and elevation changes, very much in some similarity to Paddock Hill Bend. So we ride on board with Leon Harhoff across the start-finish line, having negotiated our way out of the Queckenberg curve. Now into Coca-Cola, and then the descent starts here. You can see the front end trying to nose down as Harhoff goes down the hill. 3rd gear, 100 miles an hour, now into the Castrol Omega complex. You see the tribunes on the left-hand side. Now it's going to be up the hill, and he's trying to correct some oversteer. In the meantime, and more to the point, it's going to be through Sternquell and then through Karthallen. And you can see the grandstands on the right-hand side. And then it's going to be towards the far part of the circuit. Of course, Saxony known for production of Volkswagen vehicles in the town of Zwickau. But now it's going to be a run through this fast right-hander, down the hill into Sachsen. So 165, 168 miles an hour. Oh, down to 4th, 108. And then it's a short shoot up through the ascent, through into the Queckenberg curve. And then out across the line, snap on oversteer for Leon Harhoff. And he goes across the line. Incredible composure there for the points leader in the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. This could be a very, very fast track, especially coming out of the final left-hander at Queckenberg. But you're going up the hill and then going over a crest, so again, it's just a case, well, Harhoff decides to abort that. There's Leonardo Passioni, as we see the helicopter in shot as well, making his way through Castrol Omega. And then up the hill, through the left. We've even got our own simulated TV crew out on track there, just off of that corner. But down the hill again, you can just see the elevation changes and the amount of speed these Duquesne D08 LMP3 cars are able to have, and then up the hill, just carrying that momentum through. Very fast, complex. So you've got to be literally cornering on rails. Leonardo Passioni is a second down at the moment, as we're nearly halfway through the session. And Passioni through into the next left-hander, over the crest, out of Queckenberg. Now across the line, Passioni goes P2. Top time at the moment, 1 minute 11.842 by Leon Harhoff, about 2.5 tenths of a second off of his best lap in free practice. Passioni, 10.5 behind Windhausen. Good work by Julius Wieser, currently half a second off the pace. Alexandre Forel, we've had a bit of a 2 and 8 through one of the corners. I think that was through Coca-Cola. Forel might have been one of them and is back in pit lane. Joe Viglione running 6th. There, Voska Sopric, Gilles Samoy, Carl Palatini. No lap time yet by Lorenzo Lotriciusi, but has yet to make an outlap so far. The 10-strong driver field covered by just over 1.3 seconds. So as the drivers have gotten used to this car, they really have gotten to understand its subtle nuances. So Viglione about to go through and break the timing beam at sector 2, just under 0.28 of a second off. Passioni about to cross the line, goes pole by 3 1/1000ths at the halfway mark. Joe Viglione now coming out of Queckenberg and across the line, 4th place. A nice little improvement there by Joe Viglione, getting through on Julius Wieser, who was running 4th in the session. Passioni in the pits. Harhoff, now that will be more than likely an outlap he's doing at the minute, so getting the brakes and the tyres on the Duquesne D08 LMP3 up to temperature. So let's see if he can beat a 1 minute 11.839. So he's starting to gather a little bit of pace. Because, well, Mats Windhausen has made this the closest qualifying session so far. 77 thousandths cover the top 3 at the moment in qualifying for round 4. This is the closest that we've seen so far out of the 4 rounds. Still round 5 to come on the 18th of October. So Oscar Soprich now moves up to 5th place on a 1:12.149. So Leon Harhoff has possibly 3 laps. Oh, that's a new fastest lap of the session. 1:11.768. 71 thousandths ahead of Passioni, who in turn is about the same distance in terms of time, quicker than Mats Windhausen. Passioni still yet to put in a betterment of that lap time so far. 1:11.839. 3 minutes to go in the session, so could give Passioni the opportunity of 3 push laps in qualifying, but that depends on how compliant the tyres and the car will be over the course of the remainder of the session. So let's see if Passioni has the opportunity to go faster. Can he deny Harhoff for the 2nd round in succession? Incredibly fast in that section of the circuit goes Passioni. Now over the crest, now down through into the fast part of the circuit. Now he's going to go into the next left-hander up a slight crest. It is going to be the case of, does Passioni have what it takes out of Queckenberg once again? Will it be a better lap this time? Well, it's going to be he was actually on an out lap, so that's why we had no time registered. So on this particular occasion, Passioni now goes through into Coca-Cola, through the twisty S-bend sections on the run down to Castrol Omega. A little bit of kick up of dust on the left side by Passioni. Now through into the slowest part on the circuit. Now start to accelerate through Sternquell. Now over the crest into Karthallen. And then it's carry the momentum through, down the hill, accelerate. Guide the car nice and neatly, slow and smoothly does it. And again, running a little bit wide, nearly hitting the kitty litter through off to the top part of the circuit. Now down the crest. Into the left-hander, down in towards Sachsenkurve. Passioni 2/10 off the pace. Through Sachsen he goes. And it's going to be now through into the Grandstand Stadium area here at Queckenberg. Passioni, does he have enough? I don't think he will, but he might have one more bite at the cherry. Passioni, 1:13.3. And 11 drivers covered by 1 second, thanks to Lorenzo Luticusi, who has made an effort or two to get round the circuit. Mats Windhausen is on a flyer at the moment. He's about to go through, I think, Queckenberg for what could be the last time in the qualifying session as he pushes the throttle down hard and stays P3. 1:12.042. Julius Visa now makes his way out of Queckenberg. Pulls the left-hand side of the circuit. Well, that is not going to be enough, and I think, well, the checkered flag is going to be out. The timer has hit 0. Maximilian Damm, who was 8th in the free practice session earlier on, running as high as P5, currently in 10th place. You can see how fast this circuit is. You thought the Lautsitzring was quick? This one is even quicker. So Leon Harhoff, oh, Passioni has done it again at the last gasp. Leonardo Passioni, for the 2nd round in succession, beats Leon Harhoff. Maximilian Damm goes up to 7th on that effort. Well, they do say that lightning strikes twice. It definitely has here in the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy at round 4 at the Sachsenring, courtesy of Leonardo Passioni. Did it at the Lautsitzring, now has done it at the Sachsenring. But we've got a very, very different circuit in terms of its nuances, in terms of its elevation changes, high-speed change of direction. And it's about who has mastered the Duquesne D08 B8 LMP3 car. That is going to be very, very crucial on that point. So, Passioni, 1 minute 11.739, takes pole position for race 1 out of 2 for round 4. He'll be joined on the front row by Leon Harhoff. Mats Windhausen will start third. Joe Viglione, making his return, will line up on the outside of row number 2. Oscar Soprich and Julius Wieser will be on row 3, ahead of Maximilian Dam and Alexandre Forel, who round out the 4th row. Completing the top 5 will be Gilles Samoy and Carl Palatini. Lorenzo Lutti will round out the grid in 11th place, as we are waiting for the session to move on to our first of 2 races. So really, I don't know what Leon Harhoff is probably thinking at the moment. He's like thinking, oh great, he's done it again. But Harhoff has got an advantage in terms of the points. And it's probably the best part of 120 points, I think, between him and Mats Windhausen, who's second. Passioni is third in the standings. So, of course, there was a consideration with regards to taking a drop score into account, which we have done, as per the requests. But of course, we've got 2 back-to-back races. Now, if you saw what we saw at the Lautsitzring 2 weeks ago on the 1st of September, it was a fantastic race. I mean, especially race 2, where we didn't know how the storyline was going to play out. The same can very much be said of this one when it comes to, okay, a smaller field, but nevertheless, we've seen some great battles along the way. I mean, 5 wide into turn 2 at Lautsitzring DTM last 2 weeks ago. Both myself and Kieran McGinley, we nearly both needed a standby defibrillator by our immediate left-hand sides. But it just goes to show that each track has challenges for different drivers. So you might think, well, okay, I know I'm good at this circuit. Where are my weak points? Where can I improve? Is there somewhere where I can gain time? How can I do that? Is there anyone that I know that might be able to help me? Because obviously in sim racing, we're part of the global community from all 4 corners, from all 6 continents. And the biggest thing about community is also about helping people out, you know, getting to meet new people, getting to know them. And also, the sim racing community only grows by the people that are part of it. And there are so many good people in this community that can help and will help with just a simple person saying, I need some assistance, you know, I'm just joining in. And, you know, I want to get good at, you know, there might be people that might say, okay, well, maybe you'll try this, maybe you'll try that. There's so many different things whereby it's not just about software and hardware. But there is your grid for race 1 out of 2 for round 4 of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. So you see the countdown clock starting. Looks like we've got about 2 minutes. So Leonardo Passioni does it again. Leon Harhoff's got to get the jump on him on the start. That much I tell you. And especially when they've got the run down to a very, very tight right-hander to Coca-Cola Curve, it is not going to be a picnic here at the Sachsenring. But let us know in the chat who you are rooting for, who you are supporting. And of course, we still have one more race on the road to SimRacing Expo, which is next week for the ADAC Digital GT500. Track and car to be revealed the day before. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we find out next, what the proverbial Digital GT500 fruit machine has lined up for us. So once the revs start to rise, we will be underway. The drivers waiting with bated breath here at the Sachsenring has been in operation for 2 decades. And these Duquesne LMP3 cars could be a potential handful. High aero, low to the ground, and brutal V8 power in the middle, powering the rear axle. The flags off of the right-hand side of the start-finish straight flapping in the breeze here in eastern Germany. And with everyone gridded and readied up, we are seconds away from getting going. So the 6 red lights very shortly will start coming on. Here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6. Red lights are on. And we're underway. Good start by Passioni ahead of Haarhoff. Leads the way, cut straight away to the inside, heading into Coca-Cola, but Haarhoff dives up the inside. Windhausen trying to make it 3 wide. Oh, contact at the back. Oh, Soprich and Maximilian Damm tumble to the bottom of the order. But Passioni got mugged by Haarhoff into T1 at Coca-Cola. Now up the ascent for the first time. Then down the dip. Got to be very, very careful here. Through Sternfeld. Oh, Haarhoff goes a little bit wide. Bumps over the curbing. Could this unsettle him? Up the hill through Karthallen. Not quite. He's got nearly a half-second lead over Windhausen, but Passioni. Windhausen in third. Viglioni, Wiese, Samoi, Palatin, Lutrikusi, Soprich, Varel and Damm round out the running order. As through they go. Up the hill once again. Now across the line to complete the opening lap out of Queckenberg. Leon Haarhoff leads. Second, Leonardo Passioni. Third, Mats Windhausen. And Joe Viglioni is closing on Windhausen for that 3rd place. Viglioni takes a wider sweep into Coca-Cola as they go down the hill through the S-bend section once again on the way to Castle Omega. And through at the bottom, very reminiscent of the bottom hairpin at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, but then it's up the hill again through Sternquell, then Karthallen. So 2 successive sweeping lefts. Now into the grandstand section, and then up the hill again. Got to be very careful not to run wide. Oh, Julius Wiese did. Did that put him in the clutches of Gilles Samoy, who's only half a second behind? Oscar Soprich has got through on Lorenzo Lutrikusi. There is Gilles Samoy. Good to have him with us. Closing in on Julius Wiese. Wiese, the last 2 races, has had drama. Nürburgring sprint. He was taken out on the opening lap of one of the races. But Haarhoff continues to lead. New fastest lap by the race leader, 1 minute 12.030. He's 9/10 ahead of Leonardo Passioni. So the gap is a second between first and second place. Also a second between second and third. Passioni and Windhausen round out the top 3. Viglioni is giving chase though to the driver in third. Gilles Samoy is also trying to close in on Julius Wiese. Carl Palatini, who started down in 10th, in now 7th. Riding on board with our 4th place driver, Joe Viglioni. 5th gear, 130, up the hill, accelerating. 140, down the hill. When's he going to shift to 6th? Now, 160 miles an hour into this left-hander, down into 5th. Down into 4th, dab of the brakes, 110 miles an hour on the apex exit. Down again into 3rd, 80 miles an hour. Over out of Queckenberg curve, and now across the line. Let's keep on board with Leon Haarhoff if we can. Well, not Leon Haarhoff, Joe Viglioni for a lap. You can see he's closing in, he's 4/10 behind. Into Coca-Cola. Now you're going to get an understanding of the descent here in the Duquesne LMP3. Into the next left-hander, down at 2. Now into Castle Omega. Oh, a bit wide there from Windhausen. Viglione able to close up a little bit, now up the hill. Through into the next left, bit of snap on oversteer for Viglione. Now down in towards Sternquell, then Karthallen is accelerating and shifting up through the corners. Now down to a little lift off the throttle, back up onto full throttle application. Now into the left, down the hill, into the fast right-hander, 150 miles an hour, and he's within 2 and a bit tenths of Joe Viglione. Into Saxon curve, having to correct the slide a little bit there. Now up through into Kreckenberg. That's a great onboard shot. Big thank you to Ryan Gill for the onboard there, as we are at nearly a quarter time running out. Viglione is closing on Windhausen. Maybe the trigger might be pulled imminently. Not into Coca-Cola, it won't. Once a lap number 5 of this race. And Leon Harhoff has got a lead over Leonardo Passioni of 1.3 seconds and climbing. Windhausen and Viglione battling over P3. Visa not too far behind, 1.3 seconds off down in 5th. He's also got his own challengers to contend with, one of which being Gilles Samoy. Oh, I think was a little bit sideways there from Joe Viglione. That's lost him a little bit of time, and the gap has increased to over 1.1 seconds between him and Mats Windhausen. But seeing these cars at full chat like this, absolutely wonderful. You're getting the full appreciation of those natural V8 power plants. So Julius Visa trying to close in on Joe Viglione, so the battle between 4th and 5th really heating up. Next battle a bit further down, Carl Palatini and Oscar Soprich, 7th and 8th. They are battling away, 6/10 separate in the moment. Julius Visa going towards the wall on the left-hand side of the start-finish straight to try and get the run through into Coca-Cola. Down the hill again, now through 1, into the left-hander here at 2, into turn 3 at Castrol Omega. Then you've got the left-hander at 4, which leads up into 5, and then 6 at Sternquell. And then Karthallen before the grandstand start to become a bit more prevalent. Through here under the Volkswagen Saxon Bridge, up the hill again, mind out for the kitty litter on the right-hand side. And then over the crest again, down the hill, it's going to be through into the fast right-hander at over 150 plus miles an hour in 5th gear, accelerating to 6th and shifting up. Then into Saxon curve, 100 miles an hour. Carry it through the nice and clean. That was very smooth. That was smooth as silk from Julius Visa, but maybe behind the wheel and on the pedals could be a very, very different story. So another new fastest lap by Leon Harhoff, 1 minute 11.584, 8/1000 slower than his time in free practice. Oh, Oscar Soprich is now reeling in. Carl Palatini, sparks flying from the 7th. Oh, and Palatini's lost it into Coca-Cola. Oh, and he's going to lose out position to Alexandra Forel in the meantime. What a shame. Carl Palatini was doing so well, but coming into Coca-Cola at turn 1 here at the Sachsenring, locked up the front brakes, car went straight on, and that was it. So Oscar Soprich now has to try and find time, the best part of nearly 3.8 seconds, to close on into Julius Visa. But this is just, imagine that, being at the Sachsenring and hearing LMP3 cars roaring around it. Funnily enough, that happened last week with the ADAC Prototype Cup Germany. But at the moment, Leon Harhoff continues to lead. Leonardo Passioni trying to close that gap. It's now down to 1.4 seconds. So there's first, second, and a brief look back to Mats Windhausen in 3rd place. So Leon Harhoff looking to get back to winning ways. He knew that he was up against Leonardo Passioni, but at this moment, he is leading the way. At the moment, Maximilian Damm would take the race 2 top 10 reverse grid pole position. We know how a reverse grid likes to spice things up, let's say. And that very much is true of what you'll see for the ADAC Digital GT 500 penultimate round next week. Same time, same place, same channels. But at the moment, Leon Harhoff continuing to be a metronome at the moment. Out of the final corner at Feckenberg. The gap has started coming down. Now 1.2 seconds. Passioni very much the same time as Harhoff across the line, literally within thousandths of a second of each other. And there is the recovering Carl Palatini. Oh, Alex Farrell drops it out of Feckenberg. Oh dear, Palatini dropped it at the first corner. Farrell's dropped it at the last corner. So Farrell drops down to the bottom of the order. And Palatini inherits 8th ahead of Maximilian Damm. So that puts now Lorenzo Luttinicusi into 10th position. With an all-important race 2 reverse grid pole. Palatini starting to build a little bit more confidence after that slight judgment of error that we saw in turn 1 just a couple of laps ago, actually. But Leonardo Passioni, I've just noticed, has just got the gap down to Leon Harhoff to just under a second. Now, if you remember how Passioni came through the field in race 2 last time out at the Lautsitzring, and here we are on board with our second place runner. Across the line. So, what speed is he going to reach before he hits the brakes at Coca-Cola? 150. Down to first gear. So, Leon Harhoff starting to expand that gap. Looks like Harhoff's got the car a little bit more settled. But Passioni has got determination and sheer grit to help him through as well, and is also a very, very fast pedaler in his own right. Underneath the Volkswagen Saxon bridge. Gap now 9/10 of a second and starting to stabilise slightly. Down through the fast left-hander on the run down to Saxon. Top end at just under 165 miles an hour through into that left-hander, now into Kveckenberg, down to second, 70 miles an hour. Now accelerate, put the power down. I think it was a little touch on the gravel for Passioni, but fractionally quicker by about 24 thousandths. Gap now a second between first and second position, 7 3/4 minutes to go. And Passioni, like a lot of these drivers, having to deal with snap-on oversteer, and that can happen at a moment's notice. Meantime, Oscar Soprich has come under fire now. So there is Carl Palatini. Palatini not one for giving up either, and might have the opportunity to close on in. Maximilian Damm is there in the background in 9th place. But with less than 6 minutes to go, Palatini is trying to flirt with the limit of adhesion. And more to the point, can he get through? The time is fast counting down, coming up to 5¼ minutes to go. Leon Harhoff still holding off Leonardo Passione. The gap still around about a second. Mats Windhausen quite a way adrift, but still in third. But Joe Viglione is catching him up. Gap at one point was as low. And there's been a change. Julius Visa has got through on Gilles Samoi. And looks like Samoi has made a mistake as a direct result. Sparks flying from Palatini's car in the meantime. Palatini still hunting down Soprich. You can really see that Palatini's got Soprich in his sights. We ride on board with the 8th place driver. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Great on board. You can hear the noise that naturally aspirated V8 Palatini sideways out of Kreckenberg. Incredibly. You can see he's just wrestling with that steering wheel at the moment. Very much wrestling with it. I don't know if Carl Palatini is trying to channel his inner Jan Mardenborough at the moment, to be honest with you. He's taken completely unconventional racing lines in comparison with the rest of the field. But he's now the best part of over a second behind. We're heading into the final 3 minutes of this opening race. And Leonardo Passione still trying to keep very close to Leon Harhoff. They will be alongside each other. With just over 2 minutes to go, it's anyone's guess. Palatini really closing in on Soprich. The gap now only less than 0.3 of a second. Palatini putting down pressure. Sparks firing from the back of the Duquesne LMP3 as they go down the hill once again through into the next left-hander. Here at Saxon, then it's going to be through into Kreckenberg once again. They're nearly at the end of the lap. But Harhoff will have this and one more lap to go. Oh, mistake from Soprich, and Palatini also has a tank slapper in sympathy. But Palatini, is he going to keep it round the outside into Coca-Cola? Palatini makes the move stick and locks up again. Oh, he nearly goes into the kitty litter. Nearly makes contact with Soprich. Wheel to wheel down the hill from Coca-Cola on the run down to Castrol Omega. Oh, I bet that was Code Brown waiting in the wings for Carl Palatini when he had that moment. He went, oh no, not again. The meantime, well, you know what we need to also do? Leon Harhoff is only half a second ahead of Leonardo Passioni. So the battle for the race lead really kicking off. Harhoff wants to win again. Passioni wants to keep his win streak alive. And, well, we're on the final lap of the race. There are the two leaders. There are the two leaders, Harhoff versus Passioni. Passioni, wider line taken through into Coca-Cola for what will be the 17th and final time. This really is a mouth-watering prospect, if I'm completely honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Because Leon Harhoff is not that far away, waiting for the confirmation of final lap. And here we go, just a handful of corners. It's not going to be that long now. Through the left, down the hill for the final time. Saxon and Kreckenberg just to be negotiated. Passioni's done everything he can, but it's not going to be enough. Now into Kreckenberg. Harhoff swings the car through the final corner here and over the crest. The run to the line, and it's Harhoff back to winning ways here at round 4, race 1. Leonardo Passioni takes second. Carl Palatini still battling away with Oscar Soprich. Soprich runs wide, tighter line by Palatini, down the hill for the final time in the run down in towards Saxon, the penultimate left-hander on the circuit. Biglioni and Visa take 4th and 5th behind Windhausen. Gilles Samoy is going to come across the line very shortly. He takes 6th. Palatini fighting to the bitter end, runs wide a little bit, sparks flying, gravel kicks up, but he finishes behind Oscar Soprich. So Soprich 7th, Palatini 8th. We have got just the rest of the drivers still to come through, but Alex Farrell, what a different race it could have been for Farrell. Dam will be on reverse, top 10, pole position for race 2. And Lorenzo Lutticucci finishes 11th in that race. Well, we had it all. We had thrills and spills, we had high speed action, and what's more, towards the end of the race, we had some fantastic battles. Great to see Leonardo Passioni putting the frighteners on Leon Harhoff, who actually put the boot on the other foot, so to speak, in race 1 by taking the inside line into Coca-Cola early. Was aggressive, excuse me. So Harhoff's aggressive nature meant that he now takes another win on his way to possibly having one hand on that crown of Asetek Simsports Community Trophy Champion for 2024 for the 10th anniversary of the ADAC SimRacing Expo. Just waiting for the provisional results to come through. All results called are provisional, pending sporting results post-race session, let's say. So we give the opportunity for the drivers to say if they felt that they were aggrieved by or wanted to appeal a certain move that was made by a driver. Of course, we want to make sure that everyone has a fair opportunity to voice their opinion. But of course, like I said, you, the community, will voice your opinion well and truly for our final round of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. So, let's have a look at the results. Leon Harhoff wins ahead of Leonardo Passioni after 18 laps. Mats Windhausen, Joe Viglioni, Julius Visa. Then we got Gilles Samoy, Oscar Soprich, Carl Palatini, getting close but not close enough to that 7th spot. Finishes in 8th ahead of Alex Farrell, Maximilian Dam, and Lorenzo Lutticucci, which means for race 2 we flip the script. Harhoff starts 10th. Passioni will be alongside him on row 5. Remember what happened last time? Lautsitzring, DTM, 2 weeks ago? I certainly remember, and I certainly know that Leon Harhoff does remember as well. Because you don't want to be in the mid-pack of a reverse grid race. That's very much for sure, but let's see how he handles this one. So, the starting order for race 2 will be Maximilian Dam on pole position, Alexandre Farrell alongside, Carl Palatini and Oscar Soprich will round out row number 2, Gilles Samoy and Julius Visa will be on row 3. Then next up, it's Joe Viglioni and Mats Windhausen, Leonardo Passioni, Leon Harhoff, and then we have Lorenzo Lutficusi, who starts 11th, again on the grid. What have been your thoughts? What have been your highlights over the ADAC SimRacing Expo Asetek Simsports Community Trophy? Let us know via the chat in Twitch and on YouTube as well. As I said earlier on, 3 days of live coverage coming up from the 18th to the 20th of October, the 10th anniversary of the SimRacing Expo. Just to think, back in 2014 at the Boulevard at the iconic Nürburgring circuit in the Eifel region of Germany, things started off with 11 exhibitors. My oh my, how a decade showcases the rapid development of new manufacturers, new constructors, and also new providers coming onto the scene. There is so much technology, and just like mobile phones or laptops, it is accelerating at a very, very frantic pace. You know, everyone's trying to bring out the latest thing, and you know what? There are some bits that I've been privy to, which I can't reveal on the show, but you might see at the SimRacing Expo. There's some great new technologies coming through, new products being provided by current mainstays within the SimRacing industry. And if you don't want to miss out on testing them at the SimRacing Expo, yes, come to Messe Dortmund, enjoy 3 full days. Saturday was absolutely ram-packed last year, so get yourself a weekend ticket. Head to traction.gg. They're our official media partners for 2024 for this year's Expo. Click on the top of their website, you'll find a little banner, and it'll say you might be able to get a little bit of a discount. If it's just a day ticket, feel free to come along whichever day, but make sure you book your tickets now because space and availability is limited. I still remember speaking to a couple of people, including one of the crew from Asetek, who looked at the queues coming into the Eingang Nord, the north entrance of Hall 3. And not only was it 15 people deep outside at 9:30 in the morning, it was 15 people deep in multiple rows waiting to buy tickets. So, you better not snooze or you lose, and join us at what is going to be a fantastic event. We have got the biggest players in the sim racing industry. We have got people known within the industry, and not just the usual people that you will see on your content creators. If anyone's checked out our social media, very, very funny, let's say, quip about a music band. You know, if they were a band, who would they be? I think Ashley Eleanor was on there, Dave Cam was on there, but, you know, if you've seen that post, like it, share it, and also put a name down on what you call that band as well whilst you're at it. There's so much great stuff coming up in the coming weeks up to the Expo, and we can't wait. So I'm really looking forward to seeing quite a few familiar faces, making new ones as well. And if you are in the sim racing community and you haven't been to the Expo, please come and join us. We'd love to have your company. It is one of the most, you know, Dortmund is a wonderful city. We're literally a stone's throw from Borussia Dortmund. So, if you do want to catch the Bundesliga on Saturday night after a day of walking around the Expo Hall, Hall 3 that is, well, you can also do that as well whilst you're staying over. You know, and maybe enjoy a little bit of German Bundesliga whilst you're at it. So, we are still waiting for our move into the next session for race number 2 of round 4. Who has been your standout driver so far in the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy? Well, let us know. Put it in the chat, and we'll definitely make sure that we keep an eye on what you, the community, have to say, because we feel that the community is a very, very important part of what sim racing is. I know I'm waffling on a little bit, but I'm just waiting for Ryan to tell me when things are getting moved on to the next session, of course. So, right, let's head back to the grid, trackside at the Sachsenring. So, the countdown continues, 1 minute 30, or until we see the LP01. So, it is going to be Maximilian Damm starting on pole position, Alexandra Farrell alongside on the front row, Carl Palatini and Oscar Soprich row 2, Gilles Samoy, Julius Wieser, Joe Viglioni, Mats Windhausen, Leonardo Passione, Leon Harhoff, and Lorenzo Lutricusi. That is your grid. Love the rumble of those naturally aspirated V8 engines. It's going to be a really, really interesting race. So, what will happen for the penultimate race of the road to the Sim Racing Expo for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy on Assetto Corsa? So we're getting very, very close to the countdown, and the 6 red lights igniting on the gantry. There they are, folks. Here we go. We're revved up and ready to race here in the penultimate race before the live finale at the Expo for the Asetek Simsport Community Trophy for 2024. It's lights out. We're underway. So Alex Farrell leads the field in towards Coca-Cola. Palatini alongside on the front row. Samoy might be getting a bit racy. Palatini drops down. Oh, Samoy looking to get up the inside. Palatini holds on firmly as the field heads down. Oh, no! It nearly went all horribly wrong going into Castrol Omega. Samoy loses out to Visa, who's up to 3rd. Soprich 5th. Passioni 6th. Leon Harhoff down at the back of the field. So, early doors means that Alex Farrell leads. Remember the battle he had with Oscar Soprich at Lautsitzring DTM 2 weeks ago. There's Leonardo Passioni up to 6th. Sparks flying as they go up the crest. Down the hill into the fast left-hander before the run down to Saxon Curve. Passioni on Soprich, dives to the inside, dives to the right. And Passioni, oh no! Palatini off. I think Soprich also went off at the same corner. Through into Saxon. Now across the line to complete the opening lap. Alex Farrell has a lead of 0.6 of a second. Julius Visa P2. Leonardo Passioni, you can hear it blip down the gearbox through on Gilles Samoy for 3rd place at Coca-Cola here on lap number 2. Mats Windhausen and Leon Harhoff battling away over 7th. Harhoff through now. Windhausen's got to be very, very careful. They are side by side coming up the hill. Through into Sternquell. And Windhausen behind Harhoff, who now sets his sights on getting past Leonardo Luttivicusi in 6th place. So it looks like Maximilian Dam unable to join the server in time, possibly. But Visa there in 2nd, 3/10 behind Alex Farrell. Farrell has been in a leading position already in this series, but is yet to capitalise. But Visa is very, very quick at the moment, up through into the next left-hander. Up out of Queckenberg, onto lap number 3. Visa is being closed in on by Passioni. Passioni, new fastest lap. 1 minute 12.617. Now over the green runoff area on the outsides of Coca-Cola. Down the hill they go again. Things are closing up. Lutfi QC rounds out the top 6 behind Viglione. But Palatini and Soprich are way back behind the rest of the field. Through up into the next left-hander they go. Julius Visa on the gravel! Oh, and he nearly ran into the path of Gilles Samoy. Julius Visa, oh, I nearly had to shut my eyes for a moment there. Oh, he nearly went into the path of Mats Windhausen on the rejoin. Oh, poor Julius Visa, 5th in the opening race, and now he's down to 8th. Still 16 minutes plus 20 seconds still to go. Alex Farrell is being reeled in, hook, line and sinker. Passioni trying to get the move done. Won't chance it here on lap number 4, but might look at one of the faster parts of the circuit. Down the hill they go again. Harhoff now up to 6th place behind Lorenzo Litricusi. Oh, and Passioni into problems. Well, that's a development I didn't see coming. Leonardo Passioni was 2nd, and now that's been inherited by Gilles Samoy. Well, this has never stopped Passioni before. Harhoff, in the meantime, now running in 5th place and moving up the order, trying to close in on Litricusi for 4th. The gaps are no more than 0.6 of a second between 1st and 4th position at the moment as things stand. 2.5 tenths. Litricusi being chased down by... Oh, Litricusi makes a mistake out of Kreckenberg, and that allows Harhoff to get through for 4th. Windhausen might also go through if he's brave enough round the outside. He's already there or thereabouts. They nearly check up. And Windhausen has got through on Litricusi. Julius Visa next up to try and challenge, but into Castrolomega. What is Litricusi doing here? He's opened the door for Visa to get through, and Visa spun it! Visa has spun again. First of all, going off on the kitty litter, now spins to the Castrolomega. What can I say about that? Not much, really. I thought it was a bit advantageous to try and do that move, but then it cost Julius Visa big time. He's now down in stone dead last in 10th place. Meantime, what a fight we're having at the front end of the field. Alex Farrell leading Jules Samoy. Joe Viglione followed by Leon Harhoff, the points leader. Mats Windhausen a further 7 tenths back down in 5th. Litricusi a further 2nd back in 6th. Look at the gaps, they're no more than a second between the top 7. We've got a real fight on our hands here, folks, on the penultimate race on the road to the Sim Racing Expo for 2024. Farrell looks to be a new, different race winner. We've only had 2 so far. Leon Harhoff and Leonardo Passioni. But, oh, Viglione got a bit close to Samoy, who in turn got a bit close to Alex Farrell. Now down into Castrolomega once again. God, these drivers are really, I bet you they are absolutely loving the fast-paced nature of this circuit, but as we've seen, it does bite. And it's already bitten so far a couple of drivers. Samoy a little bit wide, but that carries the momentum through for him down the hill. Oh, is he going to challenge Farrell for the race lead? Into the next left-hander they go. Farrell keeps it pinned on the racing line. Now into Saxon. Oh, no, that's going to be Kveckenberg. My apologies there. Up through Kveckenberg. Is Samoy going to get the slipstream down into Coca-Cola? 6 laps completed. And Samoy is closing. The overspeed now taking effect. Will Samoy dive to the inside? He's going to give it a try. Give it a look. But Farrell keeps it there. And look at this. Top 6 in a row. Farrell, Samoy, Viglione, Harhoff, Windhausen and Passioni. Harhoff having a little bit of a bump over the curbs on the approach into Castrolomega. But the pace is absolutely relentless in this second race for round 4. No one's giving an inch. Neither is anyone taking a mile. Absolutely fantastic race. And Windhausen's just got off behind... it was Windhausen who's just gone slightly off the track and is now down to 7th. So Harhoff behind Viglione, who's been promoted up to 3rd. Harhoff now 4th. Passioni now 5th. Windhausen, oh, he's gonna rue the day he made that mistake, unfortunately. But the biggest danger here for the top 3 is the man in 4th, Leon Harhoff, but he's got his chief rival, Leonardo Passioni, not too far behind. Into turn 1 here on lap 8. Dive bomb attempt from Joe Viglione. And he did not get enough alongside Gilles Samoy, who's holding on to that 2nd place. Alex Farrell has come through the ringer. And here in race 2, round 4, really has been able to hold off everybody. Everyone's taking their own respective traditional racing line aspects. Some wider than others coming out of corners. And Viglione, if he keeps on opening the door like that, Harhoff's going to be through, and Harhoff is chasing him down. Harhoff goes a little bit wider into the next left-hander. Make sure you don't hit the kitty litter like we saw with Julius Visa. Over the crest again, now down the hill into the left-hander at over 145, 150 miles an hour. They'll be shifting up to 6. Samoy looking for the possible move here into the next left-hander. No, Farrell able to deny him again, but Farrell runs wide. Oh, so does Viglione. Harhoff is off the track as well. Oh, that's changed things for the... you want drama in this race? Well, folks, Harhoff off the track, down to 6. Carl Palatini is now 5th. Samoy for the move. Here on lap number 9 for the race lead down into Coca-Cola. No, not quite. Farrell's had his number all race long so far. We're halfway through. We've got just under 10 minutes to go. And what a firework-laden fight we have had so far. Now, the thing is, Leonardo Passioni can still possibly win this, but he's 1.5 seconds behind Gilles Samoy. Samoy going with Farrell. Farrell hasn't really been given an opportunity to breathe, but he's soaked up the pressure like the proverbial sponge that he is. Over the crest once again. Down the hill, in at the left-hander. Let's ride on board if we can with Gilles Samoy in second position as he's chasing down Alexander Farrell. 165 miles an hour heading into Saxon Curve. Farrell gets a little bit of a twitch out of that corner. Now into the left-hander up the crest here in Queckenberg. Samoy having to correct the back end, stepping out to the right-hand side. But 6/10 separate first and second. 6/10 also separate second from third place. You can just see how Alex Farrell is parking it on the racing line absolutely beautifully at the moment. A little bit more curb taken by Gilles Samoy up the crest through into now Sternkrell and then Karthallen. Now they start to accelerate. This is where you really gather that momentum. Fourth gear, 120 miles an hour. Swing it a little bit wide, just like at the double left-hander at Pouan at Spa-Francorchamps. Through the left, lift off the throttle. Now accelerates again, steady the car up, line it up now. Through this fast left-hander. Now it's the right-hander coming up down the hill. Samoy has got Passioni not too far behind. 6/10 cover the top 3 into Saxon. They go once again here on lap number 10 with just under 8 minutes to go on the timer. I think it's not just one driver that can win this. I make it 4. Farrell, Samoy, Passioni and Viglione all have a bona fide chance. Harhoff is there in the background. He's back up to 5th place. Samoy having to defend from Passioni whilst trying to attack. Farrell down through the hill again. Here on lap number 11. Through into... Oh, and Passioni's got off! Oh, no! Passioni just went straight off. I think he ended up left. And that has caused big-time drama for the double race winner for round 3 at Lautsitzring DTM. So now it's a 3-car brawl. Passioni finds himself behind Windhausen. Harhoff now in 4th place. Well, 4 horses become 3. What can I say about this? And we look to be on course for a 3rd different race winner. It's going to be very, very careful. Oh, Samoy makes a mistake. Is Viglione going to get through? Yes, he does. Great move out of Queckenberg by Joe Viglione on Gilles Samoy for 2nd place. You know what? I mean, I think at the there's every possibility that someone else in this top 3 might make an unforced error. And Leon Harhoff still says, hang on a second, don't forget about me. I might be 3.4 seconds behind. But if you 3 keep on squabbling, you're all fair game. But with the top three covered by 7.5 tenths of a second, as we are less than 60 seconds away into the final quarter of this race. Alex Farrell has led every single lap so far. He has not buckled under the strain. He's just doing what he needs to do. I think what he's done is he's decided, I'm on pole, I'm going to run my own race. Whatever happens behind me, you know what? I'm going to leave it until then. 2.5 tenths separate Viglione and Farrell. Viglione looks for a brief move up the inside into Coca-Cola on lap 13 at turn 1. Not going to work there because Farrell was very much steering the car right. And Farrell just really has been very, very smooth in this race. Just letting the car work for him rather than the other way around. And sometimes, if it's, I hate to think what Alex Farrell's steering and throttle and brake inputs are like at the moment. But from the outside here, it looks like Farrell is very, very smooth indeed. Viglione just trying to see if he can pick up that toe on board with our second place driver. Down the hill on the run down to Saxon. Here at the penultimate left-hander on the circuit. 4:20 to go. Yeah, Farrell's just got that nailed. Oh, over there for Viglione! Big tank slapper, left-hand side hits the wall. And Samoy retaliates by going round the outside. Oh, you could not have written this race. And what's more, Leon Harhoff has now made it to the back of the top 3. So is Mats Windhausen. So has, get this, Leonardo Passioni. It's like the Duracell bunny. It keeps on going and going and going. You just never know when it's going to stop. A bit like the amount of positional changes that we've had in this race. And Passioni looking to quickly get through on Mats Windhausen. Coming up to round about the 3-minute mark. So 3 minutes to go for the penultimate round of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. Over the crest. Now down the hill. Harhoff closing in on Viglione for P3. Viglione will be driving with a damaged vehicle, but still able to keep Harhoff at bay. 3 minutes to go. Harhoff off the track now. Windhausen and Passioni will pass him. And more to the point, oh, nearly a squeeze. Oh, Passioni gets squeezed by Harhoff coming out of Queckenberg. Oh, I don't like the direction of where this race is going between these drivers. The top 3 have really, really been keeping it nice and clean. Harhoff, Passioni and Windhausen, they've got the handbags out. They really, really have. But the finale is all to play for. On the 18th of October, that's going to be in 5 weeks' time. 2 minutes remaining. Alex Farrell has led every single lap of this race. And no matter who his nearest challenger has been, even though it's Gilles Samoy, Samoy has tried to get through on him, and there they are, down the hill. Oh, this is going to be close. Samoy's going to dive to the inside. Through into the left-hander. Farrell still. I cannot believe it. Alex Farrell has had an answer to everybody in this race. Viglione diving to the outside through Queckenberg on Samoy. Samoy's going to run him a little bit wide. 2 laps to go. And Viglione and Samoy side by side into Coca-Cola. Viglione's going to have the inside line. And Samoy has to drop to 3rd place. 4.5 miles of racing to go, and we ain't out of the woods yet, folks. This is going to set us up so nicely for the live finale from the ADAC SimRacing Expo on the 18th, in just under 5 weeks' time. Kieran McGinley, you have been missed tonight, buddy. But I know you're going to watch this back and enjoy every single second of this second race here at round 4. Oh, nearly a little bit wide by Windhausen. But down the hill again for what is going to be the penultimate time. 40 seconds on the timer. The scramble, the race has really become alive. Top 6 covered by, that is going to be about just over a second and a half. Now through into Queckenberg. One more lap remains. Oh, Viglione. Now that was Samoy. Half through on Windhausen for P4. One more lap remains. Passioni and Windhausen wheel to wheel and diving up the inside for the race lead. That's Joe Viglione. Joe Viglione takes the lead on the final lap at Coca-Cola. I cannot believe it. Alex Farrell was on course. Was on course to be a race winner. And now, Joe Viglione, you better watch your back. But that gap is starting to expand. Alex Farrell has led every single lap until the one it mattered the most. And Joe Viglione did the dive bomb through Coca-Cola on lap number 17, turn 1. And that has made the difference. Down the hill for the final time. What a race 2 for round 4 we've had. Passioni still trying to put the fighters on half. As through we go into Queckenberg for the final time. Joining Half and Passioni. Race 2, round 4. Joe Viglione wins ahead of Alex Farrell. Gilles Samoy takes P3. 3 new drivers to hit the podium. Wow. Oh, man alive, what a race. What a race. Whew. I need tablets, I need a dark room, I need a bed to lie in. Very much appropriate at this time. But you know what, folks? That is the perfect way to conclude the penultimate round of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. Joe Viglione victorious, a 3rd different race winner in this series so far. Alex Farrell P2, Gilles Samoy, Leon Harhoff, Leonardo Passioni, Mats Windhausen, and look at the cool down lap. They're all together. What can you say? I'm lost for words. I really am. I'm not joking. I seriously am not joking. Pound for pound, that is the best race of this competition so far. God only knows what we're going to see at the finale on the 18th of October. But more to the point, as I said earlier on, there's a twist in the script. You, the community, will be given the opportunity to vote on the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy finale. Well, hopefully, we might get the opportunity to speak to a driver or two. I'm completely at a loss for words. You know, I don't know what to say. I think, you know, you put it into perspective that you wait and you wait and you wait for drivers to come along. I'm just messaging the so we'll hopefully give it a couple of minutes, but I'm sure after that race everyone is absolutely cream crackered. I sure as hell am. I know Ryan, our broadcast director, was you know, telling me what was going on, giving me information, but also okay, let's see. That was absolutely mental. So, you know what? We've got someone waiting. Let's bring them in. Joe Viglione. Welcome to the winner's circle. Congrats. That was a great race.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Last lap, turn 1. You thought, I've got an opportunity. Let's go for it. How are you feeling? Because you've joined Leonardo Passioni, and Leon Harhoff as the 3 different race winners so far. And going into the Expo finale, you must be feeling pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. I was struggling in Sector 2 with very hot tires, but the piece was good, so good, happy.
Well, that's been your best set of results actually. 4th in race 1, and then you win it by. I was wondering if Alex Farrell was going to leave the door open, and I just could tell by the way that your car was approaching turn 1 that you just thought, you know what, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, so I have to applaud you. You know, chapeau, as they would say in France. But what have you thought about the competition with the tracks we've been at so far on the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy?
Yeah, I think it's a very good competition. Actually, I have to quit 2 races. One for the holidays, second for the GPU down. So, as I said, very happy to win tonight. So, let's go forward to the final, maybe. Let's see.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What track are you hoping for the finale? Because we are leaving it to the sim racing community to vote. So, just what track now? Obviously, I know there are certain tracks that will play to the strengths of the LMP3 car, like we've seen with Sachsenring, like we've seen with Lautsitzring. Is there a track that you would love to drive this car at for the Expo finale for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy?
Well, actually, maybe Portimao or North Life. Why not? Very hard race.
Portimao is a fantastic, the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve, lovely circuit, fantastic, great combination. It's been part of the European Le Mans Series calendar, but
yeah, it's a wide track, very good battles. So why not?
Lots of undulation, like Sachsenring, as well.
Yeah.
But Joe, before we let you go tonight, who would you like to say thank you to for?
Thank you to my team, to my teammate Leonardo Passoni. He's a very good driver, very fast. So I can watch him while training, so I can learn every time. And that's it.
Brilliant. Joe Viglione, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you in 5 weeks for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy final. So, mille grazie.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
So, a big thank you there to Joe Viglione, our race 2 winner here at round 4. We've got another driver waiting. Let's bring them in. So, the driver who held on for every single one of those, every single lap until the first corner on turn 1. But Alex Farrell, what a race 2 for you, buddy. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Awesome, yeah. Yeah, I tried like earlier in the race when I tried to defend, like braking later and going through the outside, but he lost it a bit and we touched, so yeah, it didn't work on last lap.
But that's been your best result of the season. I mean, obviously, we saw the battle between you and Oscar in race 2 at Lautsitzring 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That race didn't work out. You've been through the ringer a little bit, let's be honest, Alex. It's not been an easy one, but have you enjoyed it so far? That's the main thing.
It's a great learning curve. Actually, I bought Asetek Corsa a long time ago, but it's my first championship on it, and so I was like set up in the game like a few days before the qualifying for the championship, and I'm learning every day and every race on how everything works. So it's a learning curve, but it's getting together slowly.
Well, considering that performance in race 2, I'm not at all surprised. Now, I'm going to ask every single driver that I'm interviewing tonight. Now, we've had a suggestion of which track that you'd like to race at for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy finale. Joe Viglione has selected Portimao. So, Alexandre Forel, in your own time, which track would you like to race this car at if the track was selected by the community?
So if we check the World Championship, you went from, like, sorry for the German people, but from a parking lot of like the first race was basically 2 hairpins on a chicane in between walls, to like progressively bigger tracks and faster speed. So I would go for Spa for the end, like something fast with big curves and.
Oh, Spa-Francorchamps, nice
Yes.
choice. 7 kilometers, 19 turns. Oh, imagine throwing that thing through into.
Yeah, with big like draft and everything.
Yeah.
Not good news for me in race 2, but.
You never know.
Okay.
You never
Yeah.
know. Well, Alexandre Forel, thank you so much for chatting to me post race 2. Anyone you'd
Thanks
like
for
to
having me.
thank before we let you go this Sunday evening?
Yeah, I want to thank my team, Manticore. They are like, I'm streaming some races and they are in the chat all the time. So the Manticore, maybe my dad is watching as well. Why not? And we've been like buddies for years. He was my mechanic during my karting days. So always great to share this together after all these years. So yeah, and thanks everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for the nice comms and showing us on stream as well.
Brilliant. Alexandre Forel, merci beaucoup. We will see you at the finale in 5 weeks' time, where myself and Kieran will be live at the expo, but we know you'll be in your sim ready to rock and roll. Well done tonight.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Big thank you there to Alex Forel. We've got one more driver to bring in. So, Gilles Samoy, welcome to the commentary box for the post-race 2 interview. And, well, congratulations. It looks like you've got yourself a podium finally. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm happy.
I mean, the thing was, we had so many twists and turns in that. We had Leon Harhoff go off. We had Matt Spindhausen go off, Leonardo Passioni. You were even battling Alex for the race lead at one point as well. Just from your perspective, how much has it been in terms of development as a sim racer on Assetto Corsa with this spec car around tracks such as the Norisring, which Alex Forel has just labelled a parking lot, but it's an iconic German circuit, and then obviously moving to bigger and faster tracks. How have you found your racecraft on Assetto Corsa go up as the season has gone on?
No, well, to be honest, I haven't driven the LMP3 before I started this championship, and I saw the entry list, like you could do a qualifying lap, and I said, like, who knows, maybe I will get there. And yeah, I got into the top 40, and I said, we'll see what happens. So I'm not a competitive guy, but I said to myself, let's try to do consistent lap times, and we will see. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun in all of these races, so... and if you see all the fast guys doing all those times, it can put you a little bit off, but I kind of like it, because you try to get close to them, and you have a goal to set, and yeah.
Well, as they say, persistence pays off, and you very much, along with Joe and Alex, have really personified that in what has been, I think, the classic race, you know, the race where everything and anything happened. Gilles, anyone you'd like to say thank you to before we let you go?
Yeah, my wife for letting me do this, because she makes time for, like, looking after the kids, so yeah, that's it.
Gilles Samoy, congratulations on your 3rd place, and also this has actually been your best result of so far. 6th in race 1 and a podium in race 2. Gilles, we will see you in 5 weeks for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. I have one more question, however, before you go. If there was a track you'd like to race this car at, based on what I just had from Joe Viglione, who's selected Portimao, Alexandre Forel has selected Spa-Francorchamps, why not give us another track that you'd like to race this car at on Assetto Corsa if you got the opportunity?
Then I would take my personal favorite, and that's Simula.
Yes, the Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari. Lovely, lovely
Yeah.
choice. You know what? 3 great people on the podium, 3 fantastic opinions. Jill Samoy, thanks so much for chatting to us post race 2. Well
No
done,
problem.
and we'll see you at the live finale.
All right, see ya.
Well, on that bombshell, folks, that is the road to the ADAC SimRacing Expo for the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. That second race had everything, and I mean everything. Fantastic race, wall-to-wall action. You couldn't really script it. If you threw a script at Hollywood, they'd rip it up and throw it back in your face. But you know what? That sets the tone for the live finale from the ADAC Sim Racing Expo. It's going to take place as the last bit of action on Friday, the 18th of October, 2024. Coming up next week, we have our last race before our live finales at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo for 2024. It's the penultimate round of the ADAC Digital GT 500. Track and car to be announced on the Saturday. You'll have to join myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Kieran McGinley for all the play-by-play as it happens. We've had 6 different winners from 6 different races so far. A big thank you to you all watching on the ADAC Sim Racing Expo Twitch and YouTube channels. A big thank you to Andre and the team at Asetek Simsports for continuing to support this wonderful initiative of bringing drivers from the community into the spotlight. Big thank you to our media partner Traction.gg. Head to their website to get yourself a nice little discount on an ADAC Sim Racing Expo 2024 ticket, be it daily or the weekend ticket. Grid Finder, Logitech G, Ready Set Stim, and SimStuff. A big thank you to Ryan Gill, our man behind the scenes on the broadcast. So, same time, same place, next week, I hear you cry. Tune in next week for the ADAC Digital GT 500 penultimate round. And what's more, we'll see you very soon in 5 weeks for the ADAC Sim Racing Expo 10th anniversary of the Dortmund Messe for 2024. Until then, good night.